get back into it. All right, so let's talk about this art. This art is by Thomas Parkinson. This is housed in the Henry frame designed by Afiba. I designed this frame in an effort to solve this one problem that I noticed going to art galleries. Let me give you a little back history with my relationship to art. So, my mom's an artist. I grew up in the art industry in Jamaica because my mom, artist friends, going to a lot of art shows, going to galleries, going to anything that had to do with art, I was there. And when I came to America, I still, did my best to keep that habit going on. So I was going to museums, I was going to art fairs, I was going to galleries, anything art in America, I was trying to do my best to involve myself in it. And what I discovered that through my journey, and especially when I was an entrepreneur, I'm still an entrepreneur, especially through my journey as an entrepreneur, I was dealing with burnout. And I used to work out, I live in the Bay Area in Oakland, and what I would do when I finished my work for the day, I would go walk around downtown and go to galleries or look at murals, especially when I was really stressed out. And I found that I was getting this kind of therapeutic relief when I spent time around certain pieces of art. And I would go to museums and other galleries, and I would spend like 10, 15 minutes to an hour some days just looking at art. And I found that certain art was giving me a therapeutic relief towards whatever emotional distress I was on that day. And while going to these galleries, I discovered that a lot of the prints were always just tucked to the side. And it was never like something like these galleries made a point to get like young people like myself into doing. Like, they knew I couldn't afford this $10,000, $5,000 work of art, but I sure could buy a print, and I didn't a lot. That's what was coming through. This is the Bay Area, so you got a lot of young techies and you got a lot of young people going to these experiences, and they know they can't afford the art, and they're not trying to sell them these prints. And I always noticed that they were just tucked off in the corner. So I started investigating, and I found out that a lot of people who bought prints either never hung them up because the frames are too expensive, or it was just an inconvenience for them to go find the right frame for that print. And what ended up is either they got thumbtacked to the wall, it stayed in the packaging, or it just like placed somewhere lost. And I was like, there's something here. Let me look into how to make enjoying frames a little bit more pleasing. And so I came up with this frame. I wanted to make it so that anybody can use a frame quite easily, enjoy multiple prints throughout the day if they'd like, and having to deal with the hassle that a traditional frame, and also something that would last through time, and eventually I could get the cost down to be reasonable price for a very high quality frame. And so just to break down on the frame, you get high quality museum grade plexiglass, you got 3 backings, a black, a white, and a natural wood. I can show you how it slides out real quick. You can see it slides really easily, and yeah, so I'm missing something here. I started this club, the Connect Club, to solve some problems. I wanted people to collect art like if they were collecting Pokemon cards. I remember as a kid that experience of seeing my classmates have these binders of Pokemon cards, and they didn't even really play any games with it. It was so absurd to me now looking back. Like, they only were just collecting them. And they had folders and folders. Some of these rich kids had folders of this freaking Pokemon cards. And I thought about, like, why can't we do that with art? Why can't we share that same experience? Collect prints, show off all these prints of local artists that you're collecting, and have it connected to something impactful and grander than just the work of art. Have it connected to doing something positive for the community or the city. And that's what the premise of what I started Connect Club around. I wanted people to collect art, do social impactful stuff, and be around a community of people who not only share in the love of art and of the arts, local arts, but also living better. You know, I do want everybody to, like, build their wealth. I want you to grow your network. You know, I want that, but I want you to live better while doing that. And so I discovered, when riveting back to when I was walking around the town, going to galleries and looking at murals for my therapeutic relief, I discovered this book called Art for Therapy. And what it pretty much disclosed to me was that basically we can view art more mindfully, and we can use art as a device for therapeutic relief, determined on the type of art you're viewing. So if you are feeling sad, instead of running away and trying to feel immediate happy and get a dopamine kick and stuff like that, sit with feeling sad. Find a work of art that represents that sadness that you feel. Understand that sadness and get a hold of it. And you can use art to do that. And I wanted to share that with the world. I was like, why aren't we talking about this? Of course, I know why. The education system has practically kicked arts to the side, or art specifically. I've seen art classes turn to computer rooms, math classes, no art. Pretty much taken out of high school, and when it comes to art education for the general public, there's barely any. And then when it comes to educating you about art, you're told about Caucasian art, European art, and not about African art, Hispanic art, all indigenous art. This book, of course, did not have any African or indigenous artists as reference for these examples of how we could use art as a device for bettering our mental health. So I created this ebook, and I revised the information I got out of that book and put in some other tips and tricks around collecting art and placing art in your home. And it's called Art, a Device for Better Mental Health. It's in my bio. If you are interested, you can purchase it for me for $1. I couldn't give it for free. The thing that I used said that I had to charge $1. So pop $1, get this ebook, and tell them what you think. I hope that it brings some newfound insight on how you can have a healthier relationship with yourself and art if you view more mindfully art. Like,